H, the Global Mentor Coach, and I am so excited to be back with this show called Ladies. Man, this is an awesome, awesome show. We basically bring you content that is motivational, it's encouraging, it's inspiring, it's meant to empower you and really motivate you to be the best version of yourself possible. I'm excited to be back with this second season. Last season, we had some great shows. Our very first show was Relationship Killers, and man, y'all really like that show. So we're going to be back this season. We have a couple great shows lined up. In our first episode of season 2, I have two great guests with me. I have Dr. Karen Sturdivant. Y'all remember her from last year. She was Dr. Bozer, but honey, she has gotten married and she's doing some great things. I've got Miss Sinead Jordan. She's awesome. She's a young lady doing some great things. And today we're tackling a very important topic on ding, ding, ding. Identities. That's right. We are dealing with your identity. So watch and see what truths we uncover and, take some notes on some tips that you can use to help you discover the real.
Everybody, it's me, Dr. H. I am so excited to be back. Y'all just don't know. We have been gone for a few months, but we are excited to have the return of Ladies. This show is a program that seeks to uplift women and provide them with motivation, inspiration, encouragement, and empowerment to overcome life's challenges. And today, to kick off our return, we got a good topic. We are dealing with identities today, and who doesn't suffer sometimes from identity crisis? A lot of us struggle with our identities. Let's be real. We see it, and we experience it every single day. People are constantly trying to remake themselves, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when you peel back the layers, what's there? I mean, who are you? Will the real you please stand up for all of us? So as we tackle this important topic, it's really our desire to share with you information and tips to help you be authentic and peel back the layers to discover who you really are. Today, I have some fantastic guests to share with us. First, we have Dr. Karen Sturdivant. She's not Bozer anymore. When y'all met her last year, she was Bozer. This year, she Sturdivant. Yes, she got married, honey. She's been on the show before. She is a passionate professor, now dean. Now she's taking over education one student at a time. I'm telling you, man. She just keeps getting promoted. She's a consultant, author, speaker, inspirational leader. Y'all excuse her. She's going to work out. She is a fitness competitor. And she has her first fitness competition in 2 weeks, so she has to go to the gym and stick to that regimen. Honey, she is my shero right now because I can't do it. She's transcending socioeconomic and denominational barriers. She has a powerful message of healing, love, and restoration of leadership, and it resonates hope among individuals from every walk of life. Doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter where you come from, your background. Her message can really talk to you and speak to where you are. She's a gifted exhorter and motivator. Her core message is delivering leadership truths that transform the world. She's written numerous academic articles. She's published some books. Y'all need to go get it, especially one she's talking about the Christian millennial. Please get that book. And she's presented some seminars and Bible studies. Through the years, she's traveled with numerous American and international missionaries and has had the opportunity to serve individuals in many different areas. She is the founder of the Bozer Group back in 2011 with the purpose of providing organizations and companies with excellent leadership management skills and training. So say hi to Dr. Sturdivant.
Hi, everyone.
Our next guest. I'm so proud of this young lady. Her name is Miss Sinead Jordan. I don't even know what I can say about her. She's doing some good stuff at such a very young age, y'all. She's a testament to so many her age that you can do anything you set your mind to do. Age should not stop you. She is a graduate of Virginia Union University with a degree in criminal justice. I hope that's right, because if I got it wrong, she gonna kill me.
It's right.
She has a heart and a passion for helping others. I'm telling y'all, I'm excited to see how far she goes with some of her programs. She's designed specifically for people who are incarcerated and those on probation. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Miss Shanae Jordan.
Hi.
So y'all, we're gonna go ahead and dig into today's topic because I think it's it's exciting, it's good stuff today. We are talking about identity crisis, and let's first talk about what identity is. So I'm going to start with Shanae. What does identity mean to you? When you hear that word, what does it mean? What does it resonate to you?
Identity to me means who you really are. It could be some people associated with their outward appearance, some people associated with their character,
right?
Who they really are as far as what they can bring to the table. For me, identity is just my look sometimes. Sometimes I identify with my looks. So how I look today, how I present myself for that day. And also my character and what I can bring to the table, what makes me unique. That's my identity. I'm a unique person. So yeah, that's what identity means.
Good stuff, good stuff. Dr. Sturdivant, what do you think? How do you define identity?
Identity has so many meanings. Like Cherie said, it could be your physical appearance, how you identify yourself with other cultures. More for me, it's my belief system, what I'm grounded in. That's where my identity is rooted. But for everyone, it can mean different things.
Right. I think you're both right. Identity really has to do with how you see yourself and what your perception of who you are and how that is exposed to so many of us. I really like this concept because what we're dealing with here is understanding who you are really kind of comes out in everything you say and do. It's not just the makeup you wear and how you wear your hair. That is part of your identity because it's an outward reflection of how you see yourself on the inside. So, a lot of times we'll see people, one minute they'll be dressed to the nines, the next minute it's just kind of like, I don't feel like doing life. And they just come out the house, in pajamas and all kinds of shenanigans. You see it all the time. You really see it all the time. And it makes you wonder, how do these people genuinely see themselves? How do they view themselves? And it really, really kind of makes me wonder, what are we doing? What are we seriously doing when it comes to figuring out who we are and what our life is about? A lot of times what we see on the outside is really a person's lack of self-confidence or overconfidence,
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about self-confidence for a moment. Why, Dr. Sturdivant, is self-confidence important?
Oh, self-confidence is crucial in any aspect of your life. It's going to help determine how far you go in life, how well you do in your job, how well you do in your studies, how well you relate to people,
Right.
How well you communicate with individuals. So I've seen people with a lack of confidence, and I used to struggle with a lack of confidence. You don't know how to really communicate well with people. It can affect your personal life as well as your work life and your work performance. And all of self-confidence is rooted in understanding who you are and your identity. So both of those go hand in hand. If you don't know who you are or where your identity is rooted in, it's going to have a direct reflection on your confidence level. And we can see the opposite. It's just not the lack of confidence. It can be overly confident.
Come on.
And we see
Listen.
that a lot as well too. So sometimes when we talk about confidence, it's always, lack of confidence. But really, and as we can see in today's society and even in politics, people can have an abundance amount of confidence,
right.
That can lead to destruction.
Right.
So,
and honey, isn't it funny how some of the people who have too much confidence don't have anything shouldn't really be that confident?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, you look at them and like,
Yeah.
baby, I need you to go sit down because
Yeah.
this ain't what you think. You're not what you think you are,
Right.
and it's okay to have
Yeah.
confidence, but like you said, overconfidence is really an issue. And we
That's
see
right.
that, like you said, we see that a lot in especially in politics now, but we really
Mhm.
see that everywhere. And I think, and we'll get to this later, a lot of times media and society has a lot to do with that because it
Right.
plays on our minds. And that's what
Mhm.
self-confidence, it's rooted in here, what we
Right.
thinking about, and you got to think about what you're thinking about when you're thinking about what you're thinking about. And that seems a little
That's
crazy,
right.
but really, what are you
You're
thinking
right.
about when you're thinking about what you're thinking about? It's there's levels, like there's levels to self confidence. There's levels to this, and what you think about really does set up roots in your heart and in your mind, and that it plays and it weighs on you. And a lot of people, I don't know too many women, and there are probably some women who've never had issues with self confidence. I know I have. I have personally not met a woman who has not at some point in her life had some type of challenge with her self confidence and her self esteem. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. What's bad is how you deal with it, your
Mhm.
response to it, that becomes an issue. That now it's like, well, who are you? What are you
Right.
doing? And 1 minute you're here, 1 minute you're there. You want to be like this person, you want to be like this person, you want to be like this person, but who are you? It's okay to have role models, and that's another topic that we'll be talking about later on in the season. But the whole point of role models is not to become a clone of that
Mhm.
person. That's not the whole point of that, and I think sometimes we take things too far. So Shanae, I'm going to ask you, have you ever thought to yourself in your journey with dealing with self-confidence and self-esteem, have you ever thought to yourself, how did I get here? How did I get to this point where I think so low about myself, or maybe too high of myself? How have you ever been to that point? You know,
Yes.
what was going on in your life at the time?
Wow. That definitely hits home for me. Um, growing up, I've always, well, back then, now it's different, but during that time, I felt low. I didn't look like everybody else. My hair was always short. I mean, I had a little length, but during that time, kids can be brutal.
Right.
Okay, they could just,
Mhm.
if
Mhm.
you don't look like them, if you don't look like what they see on TV, they think you're different. They think you're ugly. They just have things to say. I think the lowest point in my life was when I was in college. And that's when I really was trying to find myself, trying to find out who I really was.
Right.
And what it was my hair. Um, and I was wearing weave. I mean, wigs. I mean, you can call me the weave queen. I mean, I had it all. I had braids. I had extensions, wig. I mean, I had it all. And I got to the point like, how did I get here? Talking with my best friend, I was like, how? I actually asked. I said, how did I get here? How did I get so consumed and wrapped up in who I look like on the outside and how everybody else perceives me?
Right.
That now I'm starting to wear, wigs. I have to have the latest wigs. It has to be expensive. It can't be cheap. It has to be able to flow in the wind. I mean, it just had to be right. I mean, if I'm gonna wear, I'm gonna wear right. So I think that's in college. In college, that's when that's where I was. Yeah.
Wow. I think for a lot of us, especially those of us who went to college and those of us who went away to
Mhm.
college, away from our families, away from home, that had a lot of influence on our self confidence. For me, when I went to college, that boosted my self confidence. I was like,
Mhm.
what? Because I was the thick girl. And high school to school, I was like, thick girls weren't in. But honey, when I got to college, it was like, and you had to deal with that. It was something that I had to deal with because one, it was a shock to my system. I
Mhm.
wasn't used to. First of all, I went to an HBCU, so it was a shock to my system to see, first of all, a whole rainbow of minorities, but also all of us on different ends of the spectrum. You had the skinny, you had the skinny thick, you had the thick, you had the thick thick, you had the thick 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 thick. You had all of this stuff. You had thick in the thighs, slim in the waist. You had, all of these different hues and different sizes, and all of it was love. I mean, it was just all of it was embraced, and it was not something I was used to seeing. to be honest. It was really, I was just kind of like, it was culture shock for a long time. So it wasn't so matter of don't talk to me as it was, I need to digest what I'm seeing. And it really did boost my confidence and make me feel better about myself. And so I carried myself differently. The clothes I wore changed. First of all, it was hot. I went to school in Alabama. I went to Tuskegee. It was hot.
Wow.
It was humid. You need to be comfortable, and you need to wear some comfortable shoes because you're going to be hiking from the farm all the way across campus, a mile and a half, 2 miles to the chemistry lab. You need some comfortable shoes and some comfortable clothes. And for me, jeans was not it. I still to this day don't really wear jeans. I might have 2 pairs of jeans in my closet. That's just not, that ain't me. But give me some shorts, a skirt, dress, and I'm good. Maybe some slacks that got some breathable material, and I'm good. And that was my style. And people would criticize me at school, like, you don't have no jeans? No. I'm going to be honest, when I got to college, that was the first pair of jeans really that I kind of thought to really buy. I mean, that's when I started really buying jeans, but it really did. Even then, in college, I had 3 pairs of jeans because I don't wear jeans. I didn't wear jeans like that. So my style and my identity was very different from a lot of people that was in my circle, that was around me, and I had it weighed on me. But then I was like, why am I wearing jeans when it's uncomfortable? It's hot. It's sticking to me. I can't breathe in this. Why? I got thighs, baby, honey. She got thighs, honey. And back then, we're talking about the 90s, baby. They didn't wear jeans and make jeans for us. Let's be real. FUBU hadn't come out yet during this time. So, nah. Jeans weren't necessarily comfortable. Boot cut and wide leg that really wasn't it. So, and I was just like, why am I buying something that really doesn't fit me? But I felt like I needed to fit in. So that weighed on me. And then eventually I was like, no, I'm going to stick to being me. I'm going to wear my skirts and my sandals and I'm going to be good. And you're going to like it or you're not going to like it. You can go sit somewhere else.
Right.
You can go talk to somebody else. But it took time. So I identify with the how did I get here, because I'm like, why am I buying jeans and wearing jeans when this ain't me? This is not me. And that's okay. Like people like, to this, I go out, my girlfriend, she be like, do you have any dress down casual clothes? I said, this is dress down casual for me. And she'll be like, okay. This is my dress down casual, when I go out. So, my neighbor was like, you all dressed up? I was like, no, I'm not. This casual for me. And he's like, well, you better work it. Why? Because that's just me. That's just everyday clothes. And that's what I'm comfortable in. And it's what makes me feel good about me. Because if I don't dress a certain way, I'm going to feel like I don't want to do life today. And I'm going to feel like not doing life for a couple of days. And that's not a headspace that I want to be in. Because once I get in the headspace of I don't want to do life today, next thing I know, it's weeks that'll go by and I'm not really doing life. When I say I don't want to do life today, I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to go out. And then that's when depression sets in. Now I feel some type of way about myself. I don't feel sexy. I don't feel desire. I don't feel love. Now I got to start to recycle over again. I got to reset the button. So now I got to go through a process in my mind to reset and get all of that out. So now I have toxic thoughts about myself. And that's, and you want to get away from that. So, that leads into my next question of how you build self-confidence, because it's an uphill battle every day. Sometimes you want to do life. You see somebody else looking at like, man, I wish I could rock that because girl, she wearing that thing. Like, you better work, girl. And it can weigh on you because it's like, I wish I could look like that. Or I wish I could look like that. I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. Instead of just embrace this. And it's very difficult to embrace the skin that you're in. So, Shanae, what do you do to build your self-confidence?
I have to want to.
Right.
I have to want to. Because before I would have my circle, my family, when I was going through, my identity, they would always tell me, Chanel, you're beautiful, you're this, you're that, you don't need hair doesn't define you, all of these things, but I didn't want to.
Right.
I didn't see it as a necessity. It was just like, okay, but everybody else doesn't see what y'all see, so why should I believe you?
Right.
But then after a while, I was like, you know what? No, I want to start being confident. I want to start changing. I want to start seeing myself like everybody else see me, because everybody's not going to just say it just to say it. I mean,
Right.
strangers, they're not going to tell you these things to say it. So after a while, I said, well, what works for me? What makes me feel beautiful? What makes me feel loved? And so one day I just cut my hair off. I said, you know what? Just cut it off. And I cut it off, and my barber was like, "That looks really nice on you." As a young woman, a young Black woman, a young, someone that's still in school, that looks nice on you. And so I was like, okay, I think I can do this. Okay, it looks good. And so I just kept it up. So if I don't get it now, it's the point. If I don't get a haircut, I feel like, okay, I like a werewolf. I look crazy. Now it's like I have to go. Like today, I was supposed to go, but it's okay. I'm gonna go later. But I mean, now I built that confidence of I don't have to have hair. I mean, that's not all that defines who I am.
Right.
So I think the first step for those that are going through that is that you have to want to.
Right.
And it's not easy. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not something you wake up and say, oh, I want to be confident today. No. I would suggest to write things down, and say, okay, how do I see myself? How do I want to see myself? When I'm behind closed doors, when I look in the mirror, what do I see? Say, do I see, the next, president? Do I see, say my role model? And kind of go from there with that and say, okay, I can do that. I can do step by step and gradually be who I want to be. So you just
That's
have to want to
good.
do it.
That's good. That's so good. Dr. Sturdivant, what do you do to build your self-confidence as a professional woman, a busy professional
Mm.
woman? You're a wife, you're a mother. That can kind of weigh on you. It's like, you're always somebody's wife, you're always somebody's mother, you're always somebody's employee, you're always somebody's business person. But how do you build your self-confidence and know who you are to gain your identity as Karen, not as Karen the mother, Karen the wife, Karen the employee, Karen the businesswoman, Karen the speaker, Karen, all of these different titles and responsibilities and roles that we have and that you have. How do you build your self-confidence and maintain your own identity through it all?
Well, let me first say, if I had a nice shaped head, I would be natural. And if I had some thickness on me, I would be in trouble. I would be wearing Daisy Dukes all the time. I wouldn't be able to tell me nothing.
No,
Nothing.
she didn't,
Let me
y'all.
have a nice.
Right.
You wouldn't be able to tell me nothing. Okay, that's all I had to say about that. Don't mind all those haters. So what keeps me grounded is first I have to remember I'm Karen without all the titles, without the mother title, without the business title, without campus president title. I am Karen. I am going to make mistakes. I am not perfect. This is who God has called me to be without all the titles. So sometimes we put pressure on ourselves to be this enormous, massive person when God is just saying, be you. Be you. You're still Karen without all the titles. At the end of the day, you're still Karen. And that relieves so much pressure off of me to allow me to grow, to allow me to pick my feet up and not get depressed like Dr. Hughes says. I'm just Karen.
Right.
I'm just Karen. And so sometimes I write myself little sticky notes in the bathroom wall. You're perfect in God's eyes. Today's a new day. You're beautiful. You got nice hair. You got a small butt, but you still look good, girl. so and sometimes you have to talk yourself up. Right. And that can be hard as women because people see that as being arrogant as well. Wow. So,
no,
that's pretty much it.
I totally agree.
Pretty much it's just simple.
Right. I love the whole sticky note thing. Y'all, I have affirmations everywhere. Everywhere. Like my walls are covered in my office. I got my affirmation wall in my bedroom. I have my affirmation. Why? Because I have to see myself as who I am and who God created me to be. So when I don't feel like doing life, it motivates me. So I have 2 affirmation walls in my bedroom. It's the first thing I see when I get up, and it's the last thing I see when I go to bed. So if that's not good enough, as I'm walking, out of my bedroom into my living room and my dining room, I have another wall of positive affirmation, stuff that's just gets you going. And as I go into, the only place I don't have it is in my kitchen. And yet, I probably will end up with something in there yet. Well, I got something on the refrigerator that, some stuff on the refrigerator. So yeah, I do got something in there too. I even have it in my bathroom on the wall as I'm brushing my teeth. I have scriptures there that tells me,
That's right.
I'm reading scriptures. So you want to kind of go through that and go with that and make it happen. And then in my office, I've got another set that's like, boom, 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 boom. So you want to get that going and keep it to moving. And so who do you look to, if anybody, for tips on building your self-confidence?
That is a good question.
That is.
I know,
That is a good
right?
thought-provoking
really
question.
And it's something that maybe needs to hang out there, something to think for yourself as an audience and as individuals, as who do I look to, if anybody, for me to build my self-confidence? We're going to take a short commercial break and we'll be back shortly. Bye. And we're back. Thank you for tuning in to our show. Thank you for that wonderful commercial break. We needed that moment. So, we've been talking about identity crisis and how our identities are shaped and the things that happen in our lives that really affect us, and how sometimes we just don't want to do life, and and just how we look and how we approach things really affects us. So I really want to get into some of the external factors that affect us, and one big one, or 2 big ones, are media and society. Those 2 really do influence a lot of how people see themselves and how they shape their identity. So, let's dive right into this, the last little bit of our show, on what influence, if any, does the media and society have on how we see ourselves. I'm going to tell you, personally, it bothers me sometimes, but at the same time, as individuals, we're responsible for how we respond to content. But when it's constantly shoved down your throat and in your face, it's hard not to digest that stuff. And, I don't care what you turn on me. Even now, sometimes I look at some of the Christian memes and some of the Christian videos and some of that stuff, and it's kind of like,
yeah,
everything that sounds good and look good isn't always good. So it's and it's not always healthy. So you have to watch. Earlier I said you have to think about what think about what you're thinking about when you're thinking about what you're thinking about. You gotta kind of think about what you're watching, and how that's influencing you, and what you're listening to, how that influences how you see yourself. Because if not, you'll be wrapped up in somebody else's point of view will have you in a box. And that will suffocate you because it sounds good and it looks good, but maybe that's their person's revelation. Maybe that's what God gave them, because they got some issues that they got to deal with, and they'll project a lot of that off to the next person. And it's like, that might be for you. That might be some stuff you
That's right.
Or, that's where you are. But I was there like 10 years ago. I ain't trying to go back. So I'm trying to move forward. So you have to keep things in context with what you see in the media, whether it's social media, the news, television programming, or, society as a whole, walking down the street, in the store, in the grocery store, in the coffee shop, all kinds of stuff, in the movies. All of this kind of stuff affects how we see ourselves and really in our identities and weighs on us. So let's get in on this and dive into it. Sinead, what do you think Do you believe or think the society or the media influences how we see ourselves? And if so, how?
Absolutely, I do. Just take a social network, Facebook.
Right.
Facebook
Ugh,
and Instagram, Snapchat.
yes.
I mean, it's always the latest trend. It's always, you need to do this. You need to take this diet pill. You need to take this herbal tea. To get this perfect shape. The waist trainers.
The rap. Y'all
Oh
The
see
Lord
wrap.
Jesus,
y'all
Right.
be going out
yes.
here with
Right.
cellophane wrap.
You go, yeah,
Exactly.
you walking around in aluminum foil and all kind of stuff.
You got this thing that's literally shocking you, sending you got electric shock in your stomach. You shocking yourself with shock. You don't
Right.
know what you're doing. Okay.
I'm not doing that.
Let's
No.
not do
And
that
then
hard. Okay.
and you have
For a slim waistline, not
Yeah,
realizing you moving your organs on the inside. Just a
that's
quick plug.
right.
When you
yeah.
waist train, it's not just okay, you get your waist, but it's moving your organs on the inside.
Yeah,
Your body is shaped
Yeah.
a certain way to accommodate stuff on the inside. And then you want to know why you got irritable bowel syndrome, why you have digestion problems, why you can have breathe, why you have all these other issues. I'm so serious. Like, I know it sounds funny, but I'm so serious.
it's the
Like,
truth.
Yeah.
it's
It's the
real. There
truth.
was a woman that trained her waist. She wore a corset so much. She had a V. I mean, she had literally she had a V, but guess what? Her inside, all her organs had been moving.
It's
Doctors
messed up.
told her to
Yeah.
stop doing it, but she was like, no, I'm addicted to making sure I have this perfect waistline. And she was like, if I die early, I die early, which I thought that was kind of crazy, but she, in
That
her
is
mind,
crazy.
but see,
Yeah.
what was in her mind that made her think that she had to have a perfect waistline to be, that was her identity. Like everything that she
But
was wrapped up into having this V, this perfect V
right.
of a waist, but your organs moving. That y'all, we gotta think about that. But I'm sorry, go back. I'm sorry. That just
It's okay.
y'all come
No.
on.
It's crazy and it's the truth and it's also a bundles, you know what I'm saying? Your hair.
Yep.
Right. And I think, makeup tutorials, and I think it's because it's been accepted by people, especially the opposite. Like men are liking it more.
Mhm.
Some women, to depend on what type of relationship you're in, they're liking it more. So when it's accepted by other people, it seems like the right thing to do. And then everybody is doing it. So it's like if you're not doing it, then you're not doing it right.
Something's wrong
Like
with you. Yeah.
right, right.
It's so
So
funny. I saw on Facebook this morning. It was a meme that said Snapchat has got me convinced that all y'all women look better as farm animals.
oh no.
That's funny though. That is funny.
Just so y'all
That's
know.
funny.
So when I see stuff like that, it lets me know that people are making fun of you
Yep.
Mhm.
without making fun of you.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm just reading into it, but sometimes when people make jokes about stuff, they're really trying to let you know something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's
Y'all
not
walking
cute.
around with flowers on your head and
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and you got filters too. So a lot of I think that's an identity thing too as well because yes, some pictures you don't need. I mean, some pictures you do. If you're in a dark,
Right.
dark
Yeah.
lighting or kind of make it brighter. But also, some people live off of filters. It's like I have to have a filter to make me look this certain way. I have to
Right.
crop this out, I have to crop that out, so I can have that body that attracts other people, so I
Right.
can feel beautiful. I mean, some people don't, but I see it as a clutch. I see it as if it's not there, I can't do it. So yeah,
Right.
social
Yeah.
media, everything, all those outlets, definitely contribute to it.
And that's why it's important to know who you are too. So
Right.
I've
Mhm.
recently just got into this bikini bodybuilding thing. And
Oh,
a lot
cool.
of people don't know this. Well, Latanya does because I went through the weight loss process when I was in my doctoral program, but I lost like 65 pounds.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know
Hmm.
what? I just want to try this. It's going to be so fun. I like to exercise. So then as I'm training and I'm trying to get my body ready, as women, we're like, oh, let's go see what I'm supposed to look like at the end of this 8-month training. So
Right.
I was on Instagram and looking at all these women with butts and six packs. And then you just start to see yourself constantly comparing yourself to
Right.
women. So I
Mhm.
had to
Yeah.
stop. God said that's not healthy.
Right.
And so you're always going to find something about yourself that you don't like.
Right.
And so even in this process and journey that I'm going through with the bodybuilding, God is reminding me that what's for someone else might not be for you. So
Right.
even if they can't eat that cookie, did I tell you not to eat the cookie? Everybody's body is different, and that's the
Right.
truth. If you're eating brown rice and turkey and asparagus, or that person is, am I telling you to eat that? That might not be good for your body.
Right.
Right.
So it's important to also know who you are, that you're not made like everybody else. Because
Mm-hmm.
even with the bodybuilding thing, that can lead to eating disorders. That can lead to, so I have to be cautious about that. And good thing that I'm grounded in the Lord, because it is so easy from looking at one image to get caught in a trap.
Right.
That's how that is how the enemy gets people. People don't start off being addicted to stuff
Right.
or
Right.
having diseases. It's one thought. It's
There you
one
go.
image. It's one TV show. I mean, I've had to eliminate watching stuff like Housewives of Atlanta because of the
Mm-hmm.
garbage, just the
Right.
garbage that's on there. So
Garbage in, garbage out. Right.
it's
Yeah.
important to realize, and to, when you start having those thoughts, ooh, I just had this thought and I was watching a show. Maybe I shouldn't watch that anymore. Or
Right.
maybe I shouldn't look this up on the computer anymore.
Right.
Because I'm starting to have thoughts that I didn't have before.
Right.
And so you
Right.
got to catch it right at the moment. But if you continue to feed it into your system, it is harder to get it out.
Right.
And
I
that's just
actually
keeping
had-
it real.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I actually had to stop being on Facebook for a long time.
Yeah, me
And I was
too.
okay with that because, I mean, everything that I saw, it made me feel bad. I mean, it was relationships. It was,
Yeah.
at one point, jobs, and, so it's people and, how they look. So
Yep.
sometimes you have to take a break from things like that and get
Mhm.
yourself together and say, you know what? Okay, this is my reality. That might be their reality. But right now, I can't match that. I'm not going to break my neck to match it. So, let me just get away from all of
That's
that
right.
and just get myself together. So yeah, have that
That's
tunnel
right.
vision.
Yep.
I
So,
think
yeah.
you guys made some very powerful statements, and you really kind of closed out the show today on, at what point do we say enough is enough and
That's right.
disconnect from media and social pressures? I mean, sometimes there are some places I just don't go because I don't want to
Yep.
see all of that. If every time
Right.
I go to the same coffee shop, I see flesh hanging out and I want to see that, it offends me.
Mhm.
It's not my place to check that person. I just need to go to another coffee shop where people
Yeah.
like that don't go.
That's
You see
right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I might like Dunkin' Donuts, but I can't go to this Dunkin' Donuts because I don't want to see butt cheeks out all the time. And I'm just keep it real.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to see that, like, because that's going, after a while I see that and it's just like, oh, I love her confidence. Now I'm checking myself like, well, why am I not confident enough to have my butt cheeks out like that? And you know what I mean? Or
Mhm.
the same thing, like, I live in South Florida. We have New Beach. I don't go to New Beach because I ain't got time for that. But truth be told, you don't have
Wow.
to go to a New Beach to see stuff out, because Sinead will tell you when they were down here and we went to South Beach, honey, they will hype that stuff up between the butt cheeks and you see all of that stuff out there.
Oh
But
Really?
I don't go to South Beach because everybody has to have the quote perfect body to be out there tanning and all of that, and that'll give you a complex in and of itself. And there are people out there who are just as confident with every roll, every every ripple, dipple, and all of that kind of stuff. And that's, praise God for that, and that's good. But give me Hollywood Beach. I'm happy. And Hollywood Beach is not congested. And people are confident, but they ain't cocky. They're not overly
That's
confident.
right.
They're not, and I don't feel some type of way when I'm out there. It's just like, I can breathe, and it's because it's not them, it's me. It's how I choose to respond to what I'm seeing. And if there's an environment and an atmosphere that makes me uncomfortable, now if it's in my own home, that's different. I got to change that, because I'm setting the atmosphere. I'm setting the
That's
environment
right.
in my own home. But when I go out, if I'm going to certain restaurants and it's all type of people, like you said, Karen, if you're constantly looking at, weightlifting and bodybuilders, this is why I don't go to the gym. I don't care what kind of gym it is. I don't care if it's Planet Fitness. I don't care if any other one. I don't care if they say, well, it's working out without all of the bodybuilding and all that kind of stuff. When you see people fit, cut, and all that stuff that you really want to do, it weighs on you. But like you said, you have to know what works for you. So instead, I like nature. When I say nature, y'all don't really do
nature, but when I go for my walks, I prefer walking the neighborhood or walking the beach to getting on a treadmill. First of all, it's better for you, you know, for your knees and your legs and stuff. But you know, if I'm gonna
It sure is. I'm glad you said that.
right, if I'm gonna do the stair climber or whatever, I got a beach a mile and a half from me, and honey, by the time you walk that bridge and cross that bridge, Shanae tell you, we did do it's 2 of them. You got to cross from my house to the beach. It's a mile and a half, but honey, your body gonna be on fire. That 1 mile and a half, that's one way, honey. And they was like, oh, can we walk the boardwalk? You do know you got to walk back.
Right.
So we walked that boardwalk, the boardwalk.
And just because you're skinny doesn't mean you're healthy either.
There you go.
You better say that again. You better say that.
Trust me.
Her sister is like, and she was like, "Who loves you?"
I lost a lot of weight and I was sick. Latanya can tell you I was sick. My body was malnutrition and I was eating healthy. I thought, oh, I'm eating healthy. I'm eating clean. But your body needs sugar. It needs sodium. It needs fat. It can't live off of it. It needs bread. It needs pasta. It needs carbohydrates.
Right.
You can't live off of vegetables and chicken your whole life. It's not healthy. And so, but the media will think that if you're eating a cookie, oh my gosh, you're going to have diabetes or heart attack, but your body needs carbohydrates and sugar. So that's why
moderation. The thing is, in moderation. And that's where we have to say enough is enough. I believe we have, a lot of us have an unhealthy relationship with food. And we're going to talk about that in a later show when we talk about self-care. That's really important because we have an unhealthy addiction and unhealthy relationship with food, but we have an unhealthy addiction to a lot of stuff. And we're going to talk about that stuff later on. But I really want to thank everybody for tuning into this show where we talked about identity. Something was said here that connected with you. Stay tuned because our next show is going to be good. Because our next show, we talking about toxic relationships. Because, honey, y'all know relationships can be toxic, something awful. And the next time to see what else we're talking about, like I said, the next show is going to be toxic relationships. It's going to be good. I'm telling y'all, you don't want to miss this show. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, we're sending you lots of love and light. Bye.